Just depends. I guess we'll see. Looks like both are runners starting at Link's house, just getting a piece of heart. Trinexx saving and quitting, probably going to Dark Sanctuary. And looks like we have a map check. I think that was 5-6 at Thieves Town and penned in at Pod.
Yeah, and I think another 5-6 was Ice Palace.
Yep, looks like FEARAgent is going for the tree pull. He did take one hit. As you can see, it took 2.5 hearts. And just getting arrows from the...
Alrighty, so Trinexx heading for Skullwoods, which is kind of one of the standard plays, as we said. So, gonna farm a couple of bombs and check a couple of chests in here as well.
Yep, he gets 2 bombs under the pots there, and taking a death warp that'll send him right back into that same place, so we can get some more bombs. Looks like Fear's heading west, just checking Stumpy, not going any further. He doesn't have any rupees for the Arrow game or the Dig game, so he's probably going to head over either to Skullwoods or to Village of Outcasts here.
Yeah, so it was worthwhile checking out the tree pull there just to see if that would work out. Because I mean, Hype Cave is 5 items right off the bat there, which would be really nice to grab, but not to be this time.
Yep, it's pretty much the most item dense area in the Sphere 1 inverted. So often that'll tell you probably find progression there pretty often, and then they'll give you an idea of where to go next. But not tonight.
As we're just getting underway here, a quick shout out to our tracker today, Arterel, clicking those buttons behind the scenes. Thank you very much for doing that for us.
Yeah, big thanks to the tracker. Makes things a lot easier to follow, especially for us and for the audience. Looks like Trinexx picking up a lamp in the Sea House. I don't think there was anything in Skullwoods. I'm not sure if we got at least one item. No progression yet, but that lamp is nice to have.
Yeah, definitely. Alrighty, Trinexx into Thieves Town here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure what the usual play is here, but people usually get the first 4, then maybe they go back, maybe they don't. He needs a weapon in order to kill blind the boss, so if he doesn't find that, he probably won't go much further than the attic, if even that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of first 4, and then that's usually about it for a first dip in, unless you pick up a weapon. Ooh, maybe he's going a little further in. Oh, just taking a death warp.
Yeah, and FEARAgent checking this back chest here. Just pulling the statue. And just a map, but he's going to get a magic refill over in the side.
So based on what we've seen so far, it's looking like Hype Cave is probably the spot where something is hanging out.
Yep, some items we might be looking for. Gloves, maybe, that would let us get to Death Mountain. Flippers would let us go to Pod. And then if we get Bombos or a fire rod, that'll let us go into Ice Palace, but typically you don't want to go in to Ice Palace too early.
No. Alrighty, Mirror and Glove. Pretty good finds for Hype Cave.
Yep, so once Fear gets his lamp, he'll be able to go up to Death Mountain. He could go up now. I don't anticipate that he'll be heading up there before Village of Outcasts, but he can go up there, and then he'll in Inverted. If you've never seen Inverted before, you can take the old man from the cave. The path to Death Mountain and the Bumper Cave are switched, so you have to take the old man up to the portal and then take him back down again to the light world, place where you take him in the normal modes, and that'll give him one more spawn point from Save and Quit.
So Trinexx farmed a fair bit off of the arrow game there. He's up to 300 rupees. He's doing digging game now, which makes a lot of sense. Quite a few digs so far.
Yeah, arrow game is pretty common early on. I never really saw it much before Inverted, but it's really really convenient rupee farming spot. You just need 20, and then you can just have this pretty convenient setup that you see FEARAgent doing, just lining up right next to the guy and then waiting for those targets to reach the second curtain from the right, and then you can just fire from there.
So FEARAgent going to dig up his cache here, and Trinexx is heading over to Hype Cave now. So he'll be the first to have an idea as to where to go next. I think all signs are pointing up the mountain at this point, so that's probably where he is going to head after he picks up his lamp. Mirror and gloves.
Yep, and FEARAgent probably heading over to the Village of Outcasts. Probably going to take about the same path Trinexx took. Will be interesting to see if he goes any further into Thieves Town or not. Especially with that mirror, since he can just mirror right out. Maybe if he finds something useful.
So yeah, Team Cap is sitting on 9 points right now. There's kind of a log jam at the top of the Lake Hylia division with a bunch of teams kind of all stacked up at 12 points. So I'm sure they're trying to reach that goal. 2 Pearl, 2 Furious, definitely trying to stay in the mix here. If they can pick up 3 points and a win in this race today, then that'll put them in a better position to kind of keep pace with the lead teams.
Yep, and a question in chat. Does Mirror take you to the light world in Inverted? Yes, it does. It works just like in the normal modes, but opposite. That's kind of the idea of Inverted. You start in the dark world. You need the Moon Pearl to do stuff in the light world without turning into a bunny. And there's a few overworld changes just so you can get around and get to some item spots that you previously would use the mirror to reach.
So yeah, we're getting our first look at the light world here. As you see, Trinexx is now in his bunny form there. Still able to help the old man on his way here. Heart container, that is nice. Early on, hearts are at a premium, so definitely a nice pickup there.
Yeah, and as you can see, Trinexx is in his bunny form since he doesn't have the Moon Pearl, but gonna walk up here, looks like, to Spectacle Rock, and maybe check the item, maybe just check it blind. I think you can check the hint tile here as a bunny as well, so that could be useful.
And it looks like FEARAgent is going to be heading further into Thieves Town here, which is interesting. Wow, Gold Glove. Okay, Titansmiths up in Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice find.
Yeah, in Inverted, they don't really open too many unique locations specifically, but still a nice item to have.
Yeah, it does help you get around a little bit, certain
Definitely.
situations. I think, if I remember correctly, the only location that's really hard locked by the myths and inverted is the King's Tomb, since you can no longer mirror from the other world.
Yeah. In this seed, Trinexx is heading right back up the mountain here, and rightfully so. If he gets over to the other side, over to Dark Death Mountain's east side there, he'll be able to pick up or use the warp on that side to get into Paradox Cave. So lots of value over on that east side.
That's right, and even if he doesn't find the Moon Pearl, he can open chests as a Super Bunny. He can activate the Super Bunny state. Trinexx making it past those Lionels. What you want to do there is get hit by their projectile, because the logic can't expect you to move past them with only 3 hearts, but if you just get hit by a projectile, then you have invincibility frames and you can just try to walk right around them. Also, we saw a hint in Thieves Town that said boots require the book, so that means that our boots are on one of the tablets, I believe.
Yeah, a pretty interesting location for the boots to be. Hopefully, the book turns up sooner rather than later.
And we see Trinexx walking up here. The floating island, inverted, has a bridge to it, so you can just walk over. And the logic can't expect you to walk over there as a bunny. The other items in Paradox Cave, oh, a sword. That's a pretty nice find. But as I was saying, the other items in Paradox Cave, logically he needs the Moon Pearl, but what he can do is drop down from the pit there, and that'll give him put him in a Super Bunny state where he can use bombs and other items to pick up the chests.
So FEARAgent going with boomerang strats against blind there, unfortunately, does not work. So that was a failed attempt there.
Yeah, probably just clearing it out just to get every item he can, and then taking blind there so that when he goes back, he can just walk right back into the boss room there and start the fight.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah. Okay, so with the sword in hand, Trinexx is thinking like it's time to go for Agrah, which is not a bad idea here.
Yep.
I think the other thing we could have done was to drop down and mirror into the back part of Turtle Rock. Could have opened up a couple of chests in that dungeon. But yeah, I think this is probably like logically the right play to make here.
Yeah, killing Agrah and Inverted will unlock a portal north of Link's house, sort of an analog to the castle portal in the regular modes.
Alrighty, so FEARAgent giving us our Light World check there. Green Pendant Hera, Blue Pendant Desert Palace, and then Eastern Palace was one of our crystals.
Yep, and unfortunately that means that the book could possibly be in Ganon's Tower, the seed, since it does, in Inverted, it does kind of hard lock the Desert Palace, since you can't mirror there like you can in the regular modes, but you know, hopefully we'll see it before that, so our runners can get the boots.
Alrighty, FEARAgent picking up his Titan's Mitts here.
Yeah, they'll probably head over to East Death Mountain as well, maybe do Aghanim, or maybe he'll give us a Turtle Rock check. Another reason to do Aga in this situation where you have logical access is that Inverted can expect you to do some stuff as a bunny to pick up certain items. I'm not exactly sure, but I think, you know, for example, a sick kid, or checking the smith and the purple chest could have the moon pearl, for example. So Aga would let our runners go and do those.
I think it's pretty interesting that bunny state can be part of the logic in Inverted.
Yeah, it is, because you never really see it in Open or Standard, except for a couple cases, like Moon Pearl and Checkerboard Cave or on the Pyramid Ledge, but even then, it's just a short.
So we don't have a whole lot of weapons at this point. Well, we do have both boomerangs.
Yep, those can be helpful now and then if you want to stun an enemy. Check the stun prize. I think this seed it's only 5 rupees, but still nice to know.
So I think the FEARAgent is using the like the Dark Link sprite. His bunny state is really throwing me off there because he looks like regular Link.
Yep.
This is a really long Aga fight as well. That's really annoying.
Oh yeah, the number of blue balls you get is randomized, but it is seeded such that both our runners will get the same number of blue balls in the first fight.
Oh, the Ice Rod in Turtle Rock here. Some tough, slow laser skips here. FEARAgent hopefully can pull this off. Not too much. Well, takes a death. That's okay.
Yeah, it is pretty tricky to get through there, especially without at least the boots. I think you need the cape or the blue cane for those to be in logic, but it's still nice to check to make, excuse me, since there's 4 chests in a small area.
Well, he is slowly making his way through these checks here.
Yep, Trinexx, meanwhile, making his way over to Kakariko. Looks like he's gonna check the race game. And just a heart container. Might be making his way up to pick up the Smith.
Yeah, seems like a solid play at this point. Alright, so nothing else for FEARAgent in the back part of Turtle Rock. He could do some more exploration and check a couple more locations in the dungeon via another entrance. So if he wants to spend a little more time up here, he can do so. Seems like it's costing him a little bit of time, so hopefully it pays off with something. Trinexx picks up the Cane of Burna there from the bottle vendor.
Yeah, not required, but kind of a nice find. He'll have an easier time checking those laser bridge chests.
So that puts the mushroom in logic then that FEARAgent found on the laser bridge there. That could be a check that our runners do at some point. Even if they're in the bunny state, I think they'll still be able to drop that off.
Yeah, and Trinexx checking the chest game. That can be kind of an awkward check if you don't have enough rupees early on, since it is a little separated from the arrow game, which is the main place that you would farm. And going to turn in his Smith here.
Alrighty, so FEARAgent has a chain shot room left to check here. That might be it. If he gets the big key, then no, he could get up to Crystal Roller Room as well.
Yep, and using the iframes and the peg, I noticed, because those chain chops can do a lot of damage, so you have to be careful here.
They're really not cooperating.
Yeah, it can be a little tricky.
Alrighty, so he does get the big key, which gives him more to do in this dungeon if he wants to, but he's had enough.
Yeah, I can't blame them. I do believe he'd have to go kind of the long way around to get back to that big chest.
Yeah, he couldn't get to... Ooh, the bow hanging out there on Desert Ledge.
Yep, that's some good knowledge to have, since we do know that the book is behind those boots, so... Or, excuse me, the boots are behind the book, so that we know that's going to show up eventually.
So FEARAgent is trying to set up a fairly new bomb jump here. I guess we're going to call it the Kern jump, because it was mainly founded by one of our runners in the community, Kern. It gets you over to the east side of the Dark World if you don't have logical access. So not a bad idea. There's a couple of things he can check. Just hopefully he doesn't die. He's only got half a heart here.
Yep, luckily he has that boomerang so he can stun these enemies. Makes it a little easier to get by. He will be able to get to Pod as well, since he has that lamp. As long as it's not bow locked, he'll be able to get down into the dark basement and the dark maze.
So Trinexx, having cleared out Aghanim, or finished off Aghanim, has actual access to this part of the world. Basically, I think FEARAgent at this point is trying to do everything in his power to avoid the Aga play, because it feels like that might be the only way to get around, so he's hoping for a couple of items to sequence break that for him.
Yeah, that's right. If he finds like the Moon Pearl back here, very possible that he could just skip Aghanim as long as there's nothing in the Lumberjack ledge.
Yeah, good question in chat about where we can actually go at this point. Where haven't our runners been? I think, yeah, Pod is one of the only places left on the map.
Yeah, I think it is the highest density location. I think we still have a couple chests left in Turtle Rock, since Trinexx did get that Cane of Verna from the bottle vendor. So that puts the stuff on Laser Bridge and Logic. I'm not 100% sure though, because Turtle Rock is a little more complicated and inverted, since there's 3 entrances.
Yeah, I think the only thing that Fear didn't check was that crystal roller room, which he did have access to once he grabbed the big key from Chain Chomp room. But he left the dungeon after that, so I'm not gonna know what that is for a while now.
Question in chat, can you swim with flippers in bunny form? Unfortunately, no you can't. There is a minor glitch that you can do, but none of that stuff is in Logic.
Alrighty, and Pod is bow locked. So nothing else here for our runners right now. So is FEARAgent going to be going up Aga Tower, or is he going to give it a go again in Turtle Rock? No, it's Aga time.
Yeah, I can't blame him since this is going to unlock a few Light World checks for him. He probably wants to bank on having left nothing behind in Turtle Rock here.
So it looks like Trinexx is trying to set up the glitch where we pull the mimics basically out of the room, which will open the door for us. Pretty tricky one to pull off, so we'll see. It might take a little while to get the setup right here.
Yeah, I think what he's trying to do is basically clip it into the wall, and then once it's a certain depth into the wall, he can just kind of scroll it off the screen. question in chat, is this the new glitch that was discovered recently? To my knowledge, yes it was. But I'm not 100% certain.
It's definitely pretty fresh tech, yeah. So having already explored some of the light world locations that were kind of opened to us, Trinexx heading over to likely do the Turtle Rock play. So we might see what's in Crystal Roller sooner rather than later.
Yep, it's looking like this is going to have to be our progression here. If not the Moon Pearl, then something else that leads to the Moon Pearl.
I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see FEARAgent pop into Hyrule Castle and do a bunny revival glitch, where he'll start the dungeon kind of in bunny form. If he takes a death, he'll come back in regular form, which will allow him to move around the dungeon a little easier. So that might be something he decides to do. I'd be interested to see if that turns up anything.
Yeah, it is a pretty convenient place to do that glitch, and there's, I believe there's 6 items there. Assuming he gets a key for the back 3 items, or back 4 items, I mean.
Trinexx pausing for a second there, thinking about the logic and thinking about where he can go next.
Yep, like I said, it is a bit confusing. And sometimes you do want to avoid some out-of-logic checks, especially in a situation like this where you're looking for progression and you only have so many spots open. You may not want to spend time, going out of logic when you know something is guaranteed to be somewhere else.
So unfortunately, taking a death in the light world sends Trinexx right up to Aghanim, what used to be Aghanim's tower there, the top of Hyrule Castle. Was thinking about maybe doing something with the mushroom that he just picked up, so maybe that could be our next step. Or he's going back into the Dark World. Okay.
Yeah, I think he was thinking about it, but maybe deciding that, he still has a couple of things left in Turtle Rock, doesn't want to leave them behind. Or maybe he's going to Thieves Town with his sword.
Yeah, he hasn't finished off the dungeon yet. Good point in chat there. We can't actually reach the potion shop with in bunny form.
Yeah, and I wasn't counting items when FEARAgent was in here. I'm not sure if mine has an item, but an interesting observation in chat. If the small key is locked in the big chest, which I believe it was, then technically the item on blind is hammer locked, so not in logic.
That is an interesting little quirk to keep in mind when you're going through Thieves Town, that is. Yeah, that if that small key is in that big chest, hammer lock dungeon. Interesting.
Another interesting bit worth pointing out, the bushes next to the library were actually removed by the developers just for this specific situation where you can mirror to grab that smith and then mirror back to return him.
FEARAgent really likes to live dangerously here, again on half a heart.
Yeah, and looks like he's going to be checking these well chests here. He is still a bunny, but dropping through that hole there will give him the Super Bunny state and I'll let him open these chests here.
Alright, so the save quit will put him back on top of Hyrule Castle with the purple chest in tow. Alrighty, so just about 37 minutes in here, and Trinexx is going to be taking on our first boss here, picking up his first crystal. Just a little bit, hopefully.
That's right, should be pretty quick with the sword.
Alrighty, so we pick up a potion from Blind there that gives us a sick kid check, but again, as we were talking about with our wonderful friends in chat earlier, it's out of logic right now.
Yep, and Fear getting his bow knowledge, checking the mire shed here.
It's definitely been a frustrating first part of the seed here, so hopefully it gets a little bit easier for our runners here.
Yep, question in chat, the book doesn't put anything in logic in desert. No, I think you're right that it does, you are kind of trapped in the entrance room as a bunny, even though you can use the book. I believe that you can check the tablets, but yeah, if you try to go into desert, you're just going to be trapped behind the pots.
Alright, this is a big check here. What do we got, sick kid? 50 rupees, great.
Yep, and Fear coming back into Thieves Town. Like I mentioned before, he left Blind in there, so Blind just starts at the top of the arena here, and he can just go right into the fight without having to pick the maiden up.
So I think Trinexx is heading into the middle part of Skull Woods, the one chest here that he didn't check. I believe it was the map. We saw FEARAgent get it earlier.
Yep. Meanwhile, looks like Fear is gonna go probably turn in his bottle as well. So at this point, I think it's just a matter of who gets back to Turtle Rock first.
I love all the little pauses that you see our runners taking here as they're grinding it out in their brains. Where is the next spot to check?
Yeah, especially in inverted, it can kind of trip you up because it's so different from open mode. At least in the early game in particular.
Yeah, yeah. FEARAgent taking stock of everything that he has right now. Yikes, this is a long pause, so this is some deep thinking going on here.
Yeah, since he already went to Turtle Rock, he might not be thinking, it might not be the first thing in his mind right now, but hopefully he'll remember and head back in that direction soon.
Alright, it looks like FEARAgent has maybe an idea. Trinexx is making his way towards that big key. He'll have that eventually, and will hopefully remember the Crystal Roller Room. Actually, FEARAgent is looking to do some bunny revival here, and he is going to kind of explore Hyrule Castle here out of logic. Hopefully comes across something, but as we've kind of marked off every location that's possible, it really seems like Crystal Roller is holding onto our Moon Pearl.
Yeah, and this is a pretty good play by Fear. If he knows in the situation that he's in, he can still check these chests while he's trying to think about what his next move is going to be, instead of just waiting and trying to think. And he does find a small key there in the boomerang chest, so he'll be able to head back and get the 4 chests in the back of Escape as well.
Well, that's nice. Wow, very lucky not to get chomped there, Trinexx. I think just the iframes from the cane there were still in effect. Alrighty, he's got the right idea here. He's got to go this way. Well, maybe.
Yep, I think he's gotta kill these pokies here so that he can take that right door to the crystal roller room.
Alrighty, here we go. There's only a handful of items that can be here that can actually be of use to us here. So we'll soon find out what it is that we've been waiting for this entire... So it was the Moon Pearl. And it's funny because Trinexx is probably thinking, oh, I did Agrah for nothing. I'm way behind at this point. And he has no idea that his opponent is in the same boat, basically, but even further behind at this point.
Oh yeah, it's always kind of frustrating when you sort of last location an item like that, and in a race you're pretty much always thinking, you know, my opponent definitely got that sooner than I did.
Alrighty, so now we've got quite a lot of things open to us. This is where inverted... Oh, there's a hammer right away. This is where things in inverted can kind of get a little bit easier and really speed up in the back half of a run. You know, everything is open at this point for Trinexx, more or less. Lots of places to explore.
Yep, looks like he's going up Death Mountain. A few more checks here. He could go west over to Tower of Hera in that area. He has the Spiral Cave. And then he'll probably make his way down to Lower Hyrule and do some of the high density checks there, like South Shore and Kakariko.
So it looks like FEARAgent's heading back to Pod. I don't know if he has... he doesn't have the potion still, or he still has a potion, so he could actually do the potion glitch to get the mimics to move if he wants to. I guess what would be really nice for him to find is something like the hook shot, because then that might send him back up towards that, you know, Dark Death Mountain, might get him thinking about Turtle Rock again.
Yeah, that's true. Hookshot or maybe something like Kano Samaria.
Yeah.
Definitely could. Meanwhile, Trinexx making his way through Tower of Hera. I think first item was just a shield. I'm not going to be picking that up. Not much value there.
So unfortunately, FEARAgent trying to get the bottle glitch to work there and was not successful.
Yeah, it can be a little tricky if you move the camera just a little too far or something. and it's gonna kind of relock itself. And Trinexx not bothering with killing Moldorm since he's only going to get a pendant there. Just making this maybe one last check on East Death Mountain. He still has Mimic Cave he could do. And then from there, I expect we'll be heading back to the main section of Hyrule.
The FEARAgent, unfortunately, is checking locations that he has already been to, just thinking that he might have skipped over something, but this is not the dungeon that you skip something in. Gotta get back up to Turtle Rock.
Yep, it's an unfortunate place to be in. I think we've all been there. Most of us who've played and raced this game. Just trying to retrace your steps.
Picking up the powder in the uncle spot here. And Uncle himself is holding on to the Quake Medallion.
Yeah, and I didn't see what the Meyer medallion was. I'm not sure if either runner checked it earlier on. Might need to get in there. And I don't think we'll need it for Turtle Rock, unless, depends on the key layout. But we may need it to open the front to get those front 3 chests, depending on how many keys are in the back.
Alright, he's going back to the mountain. This is a good sign.
Yeah, and since he's already made some of these Hyrule Castle checks, if he goes right to that Moon Pearl, he won't be too far behind. He could still definitely make it up and come back here.
Yeah, I mean, when we're looking at the board here, we're only at 1 dungeon completed so far, so there is still plenty of time left in this one to make a comeback.
Yep, we're still looking for plenty of items too. The book, we'll need the flippers, fire rod, 1 more sword, and the hookshot as well.
Alright, so FEARAgent is close here. He's got to be careful with his hearts. He's only got 2 left.
Yep, but he is on the right track, so this is a little tricky. Gets past the Moldorms, but But yeah, he's on the right track, so I think it's only a matter of time before he gets that.
Oh, and Trinexx picks up the flute there in back of escape, and a sword upgrade as well. So flute not super useful in this mode, but you know, always nice to have.
Yeah, it will make overworld travel a little more convenient. It's never going to be absolutely required for anything or any one location, but yeah, it's nice to have.
Okay, so Fear has picked the right entrance here into Turtle Rock, so let's hope he goes for Crystal Roller at this point. Meanwhile, Trinexx picking up the Ether Medallion there in the Mushroom spot.
Yep, and FEARAgent using the Ice Rod on the Pokies. I didn't know you could do that. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, just opting to take another death there. You know, he wants to go into that room with a couple more hearts. Don't blame him.
Yeah, walking into that laser room there, usually, more often than not, you're walking out of that room, but walking in is a little tricky because there's the one laser that'll shoot at you if you're facing it, and then the others that are going to shoot at you regardless. But it just goes straight to that right wall there, walks up, makes it.
So not a whole heck of a lot in Blind's hut there. Oh no, 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 no. Fear, where you going, man? Oh no. He is not thinking about Crystal Roller at all.
Yeah, he was there. It's been a little while since he's been there, so he may just have forgotten about the big key.
Looks like he's trying to set up the bomb jump here. It's a tricky one. Oh, but he gets it in a sword. Nice.
Yep. Yeah, pointed out in chat, he may think that that door is a small key door, since he did open the big chest, which would be unfortunate. Or there he goes.
Alrighty, he's about to find it. Only an hour in here. Trinexx finding the shovel there at the magic bat.
Yep, that's a pretty convenient spot for it, especially in inverted, where it's a little tougher to get there. Looks like Fear has unfortunately run out of bombs, but with the Master Sword, he should have an easier time with the Pokies. And Trinexx mirroring to the this little hammer pegs area. In inverted, you no longer need the mitts, even though he has them, but you no longer need them since you can just mirror here. Trinexx activating his flute. Activate it here at the chicken thing in the light world, just like in the normal modes, but you can only use it in the dark world.
Ooh, and the deaths keep piling up here for FEARAgent, unfortunately. It's a tricky room, and after being through so much already in this seed, yeah, you're just kind of... You're definitely a little bit tilted at this point.
Oh, for sure. Frustration does make it a little bit harder, but looks like he's getting pretty close. Oh, it takes another unfortunate death.
So Trinexx heading out over to the desert area. Looks like he's going to go into Checkerboard Cave and then maybe mirror, and I guess Agina as well. Is he going to maybe check? Well, nothing he can do in Mire, so no. Just going to be these couple of checks here.
Yep, and this is one of the overworld changes that I referred to earlier. You can just, instead of having to mirror from the Mire area, you can just walk straight up to the Checkerboard Cave, and if you have the gloves, you can pick up the rock and head right in.
Alrighty, and FEARAgent picks up his Moon Pearl.
Yeah, looks like he's pausing a moment. Probably taking a little break. Maybe a little breather.
So, unfortunately, it looks like all of this was just a bit too much, and Fear has forfeited this match. When things just haven't been going your way, and you're an hour in, you have to assume that your opponent is just miles ahead. I understand, man, and I feel for him.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta assume at that point, like you said, you're probably not going to be catching up, and you're definitely not enjoying yourself either. So, really can't blame anyone in that situation.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate when it has to go down this way. But GG's to Fear for sticking with it. Nonetheless, we're gonna have to watch Trinexx finish this out, because that is part of the deal here. Is he will have to finish the seed in order to be given the victory here.
Yep, and making his way to Mini Moldarm Cave, a spot you would normally see much earlier, but in inverted, you need that Moon Pearl and Light World access, so you'll often see people coming up here much later on. Going to be walking over to the Ice Rod Cave as well. Definitely want to check this in inverted. It's a lot more out of the way, harder to get to in inverted.
Yeah, because I guess as we've noticed, Trinexx has the flute, but he hasn't been using it because it works in the Dark World in inverted mode. So yeah, as you were pointing out, this Ice Rod cave is always kind of an out of the way location. There's no way to flute closer to it at all, so tougher to get to.
Yeah, and also of note, there in the Dark World area where the Ice Rod Cave is, there's actually a hint way out of the way, but sometimes you'll see runners mirror to it and inverted, but Trinexx might just be thinking, you know, he doesn't need it. He's making good progress, so he'll just continue onward.
Ooh, silver arrows, nice pickup there from the hobo.
Yep, those are always convenient to have, not necessary, but do make the Ganon fight a little less, or a little more convenient, I guess. And Trinexx takes a death, fake flippering. I'm not sure, it looked like it may have been intentional, but he did fake flipper there, he set it up with a bomb. And when you're in that state, the randomizer is coded such that if you take any hit of damage, instead of soft locking, which is what happens in the vanilla game, you'll just take an instant death.
Alrighty, so we've got a special guest here in the booth. FEARAgent is joining us for a few, man. Man, our hearts are broken, man. How you feeling? Wow. Maybe a mic issue or something. Uh-oh. You're lighting up, but then I don't see you. I don't actually hear you. Alright, he will be back shortly to just chat with us a little bit about how everything kind of went wrong today. So, being a really good sport about it. So we'll get him in just a second here.
Yep, and in the meantime, we did see Trinexx got his hookshot, checking out Hookshot Cave. Not too much in there. But going to be heading back to Link's house in the Dark World. Fluting away. Looks like he's headed over to the Eastern Palace area.
Yeah, despite having quite a few items, he's missing like the key items to actually get into a bunch of these dungeons here. Fire Rod is still absent, the flippers, the book, which would get us the bow. So We're missing just one piece of the puzzle here that's going to crack this one wide open, I think. Alrighty, and we've got FEARAgent, I think, back this time.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, man, we can. So, GG's. We were feeling it for you, man. How you doing?
Because there's a delay, I'm okay now. I feel really bad because I'm cutting this race short. Like normally I would continue on and just go. That was a kick to the balls right there, and it's nobody's fault but my own. I completely forgot roller room, and I feel like up until TR, everything went really, really well. I felt so good about this, and then just forgot it. Just completely forgot it. And so after doing everything that I possibly could, including the current bomb jump, which even wasn't needed after Agrah, I couldn't go on. So I'm really sorry, everyone. I'm really upset with myself. I'm disappointed in myself. I love Inverted, and I mean, I've played a ton of Inverted, so for this to happen it was really a gut punch. I feel bad for my team. I feel bad. I feel bad for Trinexx, because nobody likes to win like that. And yeah, I'm sorry to the viewers and you guys as well. It just kills me. I'm sorry.
No worries, man. I mean, these things do happen, and I mean, to top it all off, when you were trying to get back to Crystal Roller, I mean, like, just death after death there. Like, it was just, you could see that you were just not in the right frame of mind to keep going. And so when word came down, we all understood. Everyone here got it, man. So these things happen, and Trinexx is being a really good sport here, finishing up this seed. Hopefully, it's not the way you want to win, but it just these things happen. You get randomed, so.
Yeah, I mean, both my matches, I skipped a chest, and those chests happen to have the progression that I need. It's frustrating. I look forward to these matches so much, and with the league, you're only playing once a week, if that, because you have teammates and stuff, and so I just feel terrible. I really do. That bomb. Once I realized, okay, so I didn't know how to bomb jump across to the big chest. I think I saw Act the Boker do it, so I kind of picked it up from that, but I've never attempted it, and was really happy that I got it. And when it was a sword, I realized, oh, well, it's roller room, and that's the only place I could go. So I just started throwing bombs, and I happened to catch one, and then that didn't tilt me, but then I knew I couldn't get back there, and so I just kept dying. It just went bad. At that point, though, I knew, so Agrah wasn't required. All the checks that I made in the light overworld got me nothing. I thought I was on track when I killed Blind and got the bottle. I was like, oh, this tricky seed. And then I went to the bottle vendor and got nothing. And then I was completely lost. So.
Yeah, well, it's actually interesting to note that Trinexx did most of the same stuff that you did. He did Agrah, he did some light world checks. He also didn't do Crystal Roller until way late. He went for the laser bridge in TR, but that was it for a little while, and then it took him quite a while to get back to Crystal Roller. By that point, I think he might have been about, I'd say, 20 minutes ahead of you, maybe 15, 20. So, I mean, it was definitely it was going to be really hard for you to come back, even when you got to Pearl. But
yeah, I figured even if he was late, he wasn't going to be as late as I was to getting to it, because I was literally, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw me just standing there. I was trying to figure out what did I miss, and so I went back to different locations. I cleared my tracker just to see if there was something that I clicked wrong or something, and so I was just completely lost, and I feel betrayed by the Inverted gods, really, because I do play a lot of Inverted, and for this to happen, is embarrassing and frustrating. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, it happens. It happens to all of us. So, yeah. I mean, are you going to be playing next week in the co-op week?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and we needed these points. Chisame is the only one in our team to get a win so far, and I was hoping to change that tonight. That didn't happen, but One Up and I will actually be doing a double header, I believe, on Tuesday, and we get the pleasure of playing 4K Fourth and Forehead. So,
Nice.
ugh, jeez, the hits just keep coming.
Yeah, man.
I mean, ugh. We've been practicing though, and I find that co-op is a lot of fun. I haven't done a lot of co-op, but the ones that One Up and I have done have been a blast. So I'm really looking forward to it, win, lose, or draw. Gosh, this just kills me.
Yep, pretty rough way for a seed to go in your one race for the week, but it is what it is.
That it is. That it is. All right, I'm gonna go cool down now and see if I can play this game again, because I almost broke my controller. And again, apologize to the viewers and Trinexx and everyone. It's not the way I wanted it to go. I wish I could finish it, but it just can't. It's just not my night tonight. So
Yeah.
I apologize to Team Kappa. Thanks. Don't kick me off the team.
I'm sure they won't. All right, man. Well, enjoy your cool down, and GG's anyways. I mean, best of luck next week as well.
Thanks. I appreciate it. All right. See you guys later.
See you, Fear.
See you later.
Alrighty. So, in the meantime, we picked up a bunch of stuff. So we grabbed the bow, but looks like we needed to get the boots as well when they were on the ether tablet. Now that Trinexx is here, he's going through Tower of Hera.
Yep, he's got the book at Hospital's closet, then headed over to desert, got the bow, then came up here on Death Mountain, got his boots on ether, and then killed Moldorn pretty handily, and now he's just checking this item down here in the basement. At this point, it looks like Trinexx is still looking for his fire rod, his flippers, so we can get to ice and inside Swamp Palace. And finally looking for King of Samaria, so we can get through Misery Mire and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, feels like the play now would be to head over to Pod Eastern and try and finish those out now that you got the bow.
Yeah, that would be a good call. But while he's here, I think he's just gonna stop in and get this one last Death Mountain spot. Make sure he doesn't leave anything behind. Yep, looks like that's exactly where he's going. And I'm kind of curious to see if we're going to see our fourth sword show up along the way. I'm not sure if he's going to end up going to the Thieves Town Big Chest. Depending on how many keys he has, I'm not sure if he had an extra one or not. But if he doesn't go checking that big chest, he might end up fighting Ganon with a Master Sword, which it isn't too bad with the silver arrows, but still a little longer than you'd like it to be.
Yeah, there is a pretty decent chance that Trinexx doesn't head up to Turtle Rock again until he's like in go mode. Which in that case he probably would just go right into the laser bridge door and would skip anything else that's in Turtle Rock. Yeah. Alrighty, so some new territory here. We have not seen what is in Eastern Palace yet, so this is exciting.
Yep, finds the big key in the first chest. That's it's a good sign. It's nice when you're go moding it, but even when you're not, you might, it means you might be able to skip that vanilla big key chest, which is a little bit out of the way.
Yeah, finding that compass in this second chest here means that we're at 50-50 odds as to if it's going to be an item or a map hanging out in that vanilla big key chest. If I can, I always like to take the gamble and skip that and go right for Armos.
Oh yeah, I like to do that as well. At this point, I'm not sure, since he's only looking for a couple of things and he has like a lot available to him. He might not make that gamble, but it is nice when you just need that third item and you get it on Armos. Big relief there.
Alrighty, so we've pulled 2 items out of the dungeon. Trinexx is going to check out what's in the vanilla big key chest. All right, not a bad call to check that chest. We don't know what the medallions are for our Misery Mire and Turtle Rock entrances yet, so it could be Bombo. Still haven't found anything, any of the missing items that we're looking for yet, though. So I wonder if Trinexx might pop into Palace of Darkness and see if there's anything in there. At this point, it's a pretty dense location to check, so might be hiding something from us today. Alrighty, Armos tonight should go down pretty easily here with the silver arrows. Alrighty, we're up to 2 crystals here. Alright, Trinexx, what are you gonna do? Yeah, pulling out the mirror there. Yeah, all right, good, good. Just to clear things up for anyone joining us in chat here, unfortunately, FEARAgent just couldn't find the last piece of the puzzle that he was looking for. It was the Moon Pearl was stuck in a pretty brutal spot, and he just forgot about the chest, and it wasn't until about an hour in that he figured out where it was, and by that point was just a little too far behind, a little too tilted to keep going. Alrighty, so getting our first look at the right side of Eastern Palace, or sorry, Palace of Darkness. Small key for. Alrighty, so that'll get us in the front door. We got one key. Okay, Trinexx heading right for the back here. I think because the front two items there are also going to be small keys. So he's just trying to get to the items as fast as possible here.
Yeah, if you know the key logic for Palace of Darkness, sometimes you can save a little time if you can sort of infer that a chest is a key or not.
And it looks like it's worked out pretty well. He's got just the one key to get into Dark Maze here. Huh. Okay, so big chest, what are you hiding? Ugh. So Helmasaur, it does have an item, but do you really want to go all the way down there to pick it up? I don't know if it's worth it or not. So Trinexx doesn't think so. Gonna check out a couple more locations, I think.
Yeah, it is a fairly common skip, just because of, like you said, how much time it takes to get down there and fight Trinexx, just for the one item. Looks like you will be fluted to 8 and fake flippering over to Ice Palace. Just needs to swim a little bit, gets to the ice platform, and you can, inverted mode, you can just walk right in since the wall is open there, as you saw. Another nice thing about Ice Palace is there's 3 hints in here. We saw the first one, looks like that was just a joke hint, but the other 2 hints could tell us where our Fire Rod or Arcane of Samaria are, or they might tell us, for example, certain locations like left side of Swamp, they can tell us what's back there, maybe we can skip it, or if something useful is in there, we can take the time to grab it. And kind of an interesting Pen Gator room strat there with the bombs. Since you have to menu to bombs anyway for this room Trinexx is walking into right now. It's nice if you can just use 2 bombs if you don't have your tempered sword. It's pretty convenient.
Yeah, definitely a nice little save there on the menu time. I didn't think about that aspect of it. Oh, so we had a key in that first chest there, so that makes routing the dungeon just a little bit easier. We can go over to the right side. Right.
Yep, and sets up for the bomb jump, gets your first try. Pretty convenient. You more often than not, you do want to do that. It will save a little time since you don't have to go the long way around to the iced tea room. And you can just drop down into the bottom floor where the boss is.
I guess we haven't seen Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb yet, so those are possible locations for some of these missing items to turn up.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure if we checked Lumberjack Ledge either. That's another possible location that we have open since Trinexx did kill Aghanim.
And as our wonderful tracker, Artero, points out, Desert Palace is open with those boots now, so even though it is a pendant, there could be some value tucked away there as well.
Yeah, I think Trinexx may have already turned in his green pendant from Desert. I think it was just some bombs or a piece of heart. He gets the bomb jump there in that freezer room. That's kind of a tricky one too. It's not, or at least in my experience, it's a little, it's a little easier to mess up than the Ice Palace bomb jump, or at least it's more costly because you have to walk all the way around back up to that room he's in now, the iced tea room, but it's a first try.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that the top runners make it look really easy, but it is some risk involved, and it is a big time loss. I think of the Hera bomb jump as well as one of those ones that's kind of intimidating. If you mess it up, you do waste quite a bit of time.
Yeah, sometimes, if I miss it, I'll just, if I have the hook shot, I can check the big chest. Maybe I'll just go straight down to Cold Stare and hope for nothing, but you never really want to be in that position where you're kind of hoping for the seed to bail you out.
Yeah. Alrighty, Bombos to open up the shell there. With only Master Sword, we might see a couple of hammer shots, but may just stick with the Master Sword for the most part. Going with some hammer, nice.
Yeah, the hammer is nice. It does the same damage as a tempered sword slash, or a master sword spin, but you don't have to charge it like you would with a master sword spin. Gets Cold Stare down pretty quick. Not too much trouble. Pretty good with that.
So no hints even in Ice Palace to kind of give us some kind of indication as to where items may lie. Nothing, we didn't pick up like the Cane of Samaria or something. So still a mystery as to where everything is that we're missing.
Yeah, looks like he's fluting over to Village of Outcasts, going into the portal here. Might be doing those Fooch checks you mentioned earlier, Bonk Rocks and the King's Tomb, and maybe the Lumberjack Ledge as well.
Alrighty, just dropping right on in. We haven't seen what this is yet, so who knows? Just a big 20.
Yep. If you already have Agrah down, it can be worth it just to check it blind. It's not too much extra time. And there was nothing there on the bumper ledge this seed, but in order to get there and inverted, you would have to go into that cave that normally takes you up to Death Mountain. It's like I said before, it's switched with the bumper ledge cave, so you have to walk up there with the cape and then mirror over. And this is one of the overworld changes that we haven't seen yet. The graveyard ledge here has a set of stairs, so since you can't mirror there, you can just walk right up.
Huh. Well, I kind of thought that something would turn up there, but I guess we're looking at Desert Palace? Oh, maybe we can do the mushroom finally.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to get the same setup that we saw FEARAgent use earlier. Has a little trouble. He's just going to use the bridge. A little more convenient.
We've seen the catfish, but we have not seen Zora yet. So Zora is also a check that we could do.
Yeah, since we don't have the flippers, can't get into the waterfall fairy cave without minor glitches at least, and we can at least look at the item on the Zora ledge as well, but it looks like he's choosing to flee the way instead.
Ooh, maybe we're getting a mire dive here.
Yep, turns out that medallion was Bombos. And not a bad check, especially compared to Zora. Only one item you can really get from Zora, then there's two items in here. And no reason that the Cane of Samaria can't be in here. It can't be on Vitreous, but it could potentially be anywhere else in the dungeon. Picking up a small key in the bridge chest there. Mire, for only having two items, it does have a lot of small keys. More than you'd ever need, since you never really have to go back. Oh, and there's the Cane of Samaria. So
How about that?
Yeah. Can be a little frustrating like I said, there's no reason it can't be in here, but generally this isn't going to be where you're looking for it, since you want to have it before you come in here. But good call on not putting it off for too long.
And my mind immediately goes to the worst place to use that cane, and that would be the one chest that we now have access to in the front part of Turtle Rock, as holding our next piece of progression.
Yeah, that's right. It depends. I don't remember exactly the key count or the key layout, but since
Yeah,
we do have
right.
all our medallions, we can get that one chest, but the two other chests are going to require the fire rod. But yeah, hopefully it's not in there. Since it's kind of similar to this situation where you don't want to have it in there since it is required to finish that dungeon.
Alright, so we found both items in the dungeon. Got our big key. Let's just go right to Vitreous here. Silver arrows should make quick work of him, so not too bad at all.
Yeah, that's kind of the ideal loadout you want to have, without tempered at least. You can get you can use the NMG strategy, which is to sort of charge a spin, then try to use your iframes to get up as close as you can to the eyeballs, and then kill as many as you can with the spins. But yeah, like you said, the silver arrows are pretty much the fastest way to kill Vitreous.
Nice and clean through the first phase there, doesn't miss a shot, and down goes Vitreous. Alrighty, so we have 3 crystal dungeons left to do. We can't finish any of them because we're missing the 2 key pieces, the fire rod and the flippers. So still on the hunt for a couple of items.
Yeah, looking like Trinexx is heading in here. May have left an item or two behind. Not quite sure.
So the dungeon was more or less boots locked, it looks like here. So it makes sense that Trinexx didn't explore this earlier.
Right, because he did go in here just to get the bow, and then I think he got the big key there in the map chest, which didn't require the boots. Or no, there's a big key. My mistake then. I thought I did see him pick up the item from Saha, but I must be mistaken. So my apologies to our tracker there for messing that up. Must have been Hera that was the green pendant.
Huh, so does that mean that the second item is on Landmolus? Is that what the deal is here?
Yeah, it looks like that's the case. And I think it could be possible that our fire rod or our flippers could be on the pedestal. We haven't seen a ped check yet. It's a little less convenient to check and inverted, since you can't just mirror there from Skull Woods or anything like that. You kind of just have to walk up there and check it on its own.
Yeah, it was one of those things that is still possible in this seed. I never like to get too excited about the pedestal because it doesn't usually happen, but this one does have the potential for it, for sure.
Yep, and using the silver arrows here gets the map, but that's another boss that you can kind of one-shot with the silver arrows, or at least the individual Landmola.
So if he's thinking about the pedestal, does he go right back to Palace of Darkness and finish off Helmasaur? The Helmasaur King does have an item. He's not. Okay, so he is going to go check out, I guess, that Turtle Rock chest that's open out of the front now.
Yep, question in chat, did he get both items in front of Desert? Yeah, I believe he did. Excuse me. He went in there earlier to get the bow, and I think that's when he got the map chest, but I don't believe he left without getting both items.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he grabbed that other one from the map chest on first go through. So this seed really isn't letting go yet. It was already pretty brutal with that Moon Pearl placement, and it has just been it's been unforgiving the entire way through here, with these items still outstanding, and they're in goofy locations or on the pedestal. Like, it's just not been nice at all.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, pretty much everywhere he has to check is just, you know, a couple isolated items here and there. So it's sort of a coin flip of sorts to decide, you know, which one you want to check.
I'm going to say that it's probably on Helmasaur King. We're going to find the fire rod is my guess. It's hanging out there. And then the flippers are like on Mothula. But we shall see. If the fire rod does turn up here, then the flippers could technically be on Trinexx. Wow, so that small key doesn't really help anyone at all. That's it. That's all that there is.
Yeah, and looks like he's just gonna take his keys and head back. I'm not sure He might not have picked up the big chest. We saw FEARAgent pick that up earlier. It wasn't much.
Okay, so I think that's also... let's see, with the keys that he's used so far, I think there are... Is it 2 keys that are left over on the Firelock side, then?
Sounds right. At least one. I'm trying to think. Unless he... Yeah, it must be 2 if he needs the key for the crystal roller. Oh, right. Sword upgrade and big chest. So that'll be helpful for Ganon and as well as the remaining bosses. Argus will be quite a bit quicker. Mahia will be a little easier, and then Trinexx is a bit faster as well if you don't have to menu use the hammer.
So entering into the light world here is going to mirror when it gets up to the entrance to Eastern Palace, just faster to do it this way as opposed to the long way around to Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that is a pretty convenient part of inverted mode. You can just walk up here and mirror. You can't get too close to the entrance because one of the changes to inverted is if you try to mirror too close to the entrance, you'll just mirror bonk because the developers don't want to let you basically just mirror into pod and skip Kiki.
Alright, so leaving the vanilla big key chest there, knowing that that's a key for a key swap, I think. So, just heading for Helma.
Yep, definitely can't blame him for skipping this earlier, just due to how long it takes to get down there. But at this point, I think all he's got really is Helmasaur, the pedestal, and Zora, so pretty good bet taking this, getting 2 items from this route. Meanwhile, on FEARAgent's side, getting a little bit of randomizer lore. Link getting transported to the Dark World while he slept. Ganon, kind of foolishly when you think about it, just moving all the items around Hyrule, just shuffling them around, all the items that you need to reach him and defeat him.
I actually hadn't noticed that they changed the opening text to be inverted appropriate.
Yeah, and Trinexx taking on Helmasaur. He's holding out his sword here. That has the effect of basically increasing the hammer's hitbox for some reason, I think, and it'll also kind of knock you back if Trinexx walks into you. Takes off his mask, just shoots a single silver arrow into the jewel in Trinexx's head and takes him down.
Huh. Okay, well, just bombs. I guess this means that something is on the pedestal then.
Yeah, we'll see. It's the one location that the viewers seem to love, but you always want to avoid when you're racing the game.
All right, we're getting a blind pull, so I appreciate that.
Alright, and then it is the flippers, so
So far, Drossie's prediction is correct. He was saying flips on Ped there, so if Fire Rod is left side swamp, as he also predicted, then we'll have to burn him.
yeah, and I think we did see a hint earlier that said unique item West Side Swamp, so
Oh, no way.
I'd say, yeah, chances are that could be the Fire Rod. More than likely, I'd say, at this point. Since we've got most of the other unique items, and I think we already saw the single arrow.
So we're like
Another
approaching the 2-hour mark here, and we've still got a couple of dungeons left to go. We're not even in go mode yet. It's got to be tiring for Trinexx as well. Like these inverted seeds, they can kind of vary in length, as with any rando seeds. But you've seen a lot of times kind of drop with inverted down into like the 130s, 140s. So to be 2 hours in and still kind of with a lot left on your plate. It's kind of tiring, kind of frustrating. The seed's been kind of brutal for both FEARAgent and Trinexx, who's still hanging in here.
Yeah, for sure. Into the Swamp Palace is some arrows in Mimic Cave. Would have been nice to have that earlier, save a little bit of time, but you often don't see people coming in here without the flippers. Trinexx just making his way through. Might see him just go straight to the west side since he saw that hint. But he could go straight back since there's more items in a quicker time.
Alrighty, so going for the back here, maybe after everything he's been through already, maybe he's just forgotten that hint about the unique item on the left side. Alright, he's going to soldier on to the Argus fight first here. Oh, there it is.
Alright, well, that's convenient. Just right on the way to Argus. And now he's finally in go mode. Doesn't have to worry much at all about making any extra checks. Can just kill Argus here and head to Skull Woods. And just make his way back to Trinexx.
Yeah, that is one good thing, is that the two remaining dungeons are going to be very quick clears.
Yeah, one nice thing about Turtle Rock Inverted, compared to what I mentioned before about the logic being a little complicated, is that you can just mirror straight to Laser Bridge and go right back to Trinexx. Doesn't take nearly as long as walking in from the front.
Alrighty, so fluting over to Skull Woods next. Just going to head right for the back. Should be in and out pretty quick.
Yeah, pretty well equipped for the fight. Has half magic, has his tempered sword. So I think it's 8 hits from the fire rod to kill them all.
Alrighty, nice key dash through that door there. Nice movement through the Gibdos room there, lighting those torches.
Yeah, that's a nice little bit of tech. Saves a little bit of time here and there. I think you have to be multiple of 4 pixels away from a door, and you can just dash right through. And Trinexx using his tempered sword takes down Mothula, no problem.
Yeah, pretty quick and easy there. Alrighty, so thankfully climbing the mountain for the last time in this seed, because we have been up and down Death Mountain way too many times.
Yep, we'll take one of the portals over here, just drop down into Laser Bridge, more than likely, as I mentioned earlier, and then he'll be headed to Ganon's tower.
Oh, right, he is out of keys, so he is going to grab those keys that are hanging out on the right side there, or just one of them, I guess, is all he's going to need.
Yep, just getting his keys, walking right back out. I think it's still faster just to take the portal here and then drop in.
Yeah, choosing to use this portal here as opposed to the one that is on top of Turtle Rock there costs a little bit of time here, but I guess no real pressure at this point.
Yeah, one of the changes that hasn't been mentioned is in inverted, you can actually walk up the tail on the turtle there and just drop down like these ledges you see here on Death Mountain. Since there's no other way to get up there, but yeah, you can take that, and then if you take that portal, you also need the hammer, so it's the requirements are basically designed to be consistent with the other modes. So there's some hammer pegs added. With a tempered sword, he just needs to hit the heads with the appropriate rod, and then takes 5 hits with tempered. And once both the side heads are down, and the main head comes out, and he can first he can hit the head here. I think it's a bug. You can see that Trinexx is taking damage, but the intended way is to hit the flashing orb there in the center. Takes him out pretty quick.
Alrighty, so all that's left is Ganon's tower, which is going to be at Agrah Tower today, so have to get into the light world and make our way up from there. Oh, and I guess do we do the big key guessing game? I guess we can, right? So yeah, put your guesses in the chat there, 1 through 22, where the big key might be for Ganon's tower. If you've donated 250 bits or sub to any of the Speed Gaming channels, you have a chance to get onto our leaderboard as well, if you are the correct guesser.
So, what's your guess tonight, Sabatender?
I'm going to go with 11. What are you thinking, Cassidy?
I usually just guess 2 because, well, there it is. First check. That's pretty convenient. He can just walk over here, get the 1 key that he needs to start his ascent, and then head right up.
Wow, and so the closest guess from a sub or supporter was 13 from PBT Playa. Congratulations on your win there. Looks like that puts you up to 2 wins on the leaderboard, so you're only 1 behind Walsh and FEARAgent there.
Yeah, he's making his way to the gauntlet. These mimic rooms here are another spot where people can use the mimic glitch that we mentioned earlier in Pod, where you try to put them into the wall. But today he has the bow and silver arrows, so doesn't really need to spend any time doing that.
So entering into the gauntlet here, making use of silver arrows to take out some of those Stalfos who can be a bit pesky in this first room here.
Yep, and using the pots for the second room. It's kind of nice, so it'll kill them in 1 hit.
Yeah, making use of that powder there. Why not? You know, you don't want to take a death. You just want this seed to be over.
Absolutely. Using those silver arrows again on land mode 2.
Just misses the block there, unfortunately, in the Wizrobe room.
Yep, it's a little tricky with conveyor belts, but gets it the second time.
Or as the ghost of Trinexx in the chat there is saying, first try, of course it's first try.
Making his way to Boulder 2, just needs to do a spin slash and a regular slash. Checking the last chest, just a piece of heart. It can be kind of convenient when you get a piece of heart there. You might refill your health, but doesn't really need it at this point.
Nice double there. All right, 2 for 2. That's a really solid Agrah right there.
Yep, it's one of the best fights you can hope for, 3 cycle. And since everything is inverted in this mode, we see the Ganon bat smashing into Hyrule Castle, looks like. Just needs to get 12 hits or equivalent with the Tempered Sword. Getting some nice dashes in there. It's a little tricky to do that. It's harder than it looks, but it makes it onto phase 3. Pretty.
Already going for torch glitch there. Yeah, kind of made sense.
Yep, just needs to light that one more time and get one more arrow.
Alrighty, so Trinexx finishes this abomination of a seed. Get your GGs in the chat. And Trinexx crosses the line at 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 29 seconds. Taking 3 points for 2 Pearl, 2 Furious, moving them up to 6. So let's see if we can get him in. Looks like Trinexx is already here in our waiting room, so let's pull him into the booth. Hey, Trinexx. GG's, man.
Good game, or something, or whatever that was.
Yeah. Quite the seed, huh?
You guys see me real quick? No, I'm muted. 1 sec. Give me 2 seconds.
All good?
Am I coming through now?
Yeah, we hear you, man.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, for some reason I was muted on my mic side, so.
Nice. So yeah, I guess give us some thoughts, man. That one was brutal.
I have no memory of the middle of the seed. Once I got Pearl, it was basically nothing happening until I finally found the book on back of Sasha's closet. And that literally everything in between was just basically a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah, definitely. It felt like that. It was just, even after we got the Pearl, we thought like immediately things would start to pick up, and there was just nothing forever. You were still stuck. We were on like what, 1 ages. It was like, what is this seed?
Yeah, I literally have no words for that. The opening I felt okay about, going up to Dark Death Mountain, finding the sword. I felt pretty good going into Agrah first, trying to do some light world shenanigans. But of course that didn't work out. But and as time went on, it's sort of like last location, Turtle Rock, the crystal roller room there. But and yeah, that's what I heard. Basically, kind of ended up screwing a FEARAgent there.
Yeah, unfortunately. It was pretty rough on his end there. I mean, it was interesting that, like, both of you guys basically last location that more or less. It's just that there was a lot of stopping and starting for Fear. Just couldn't quite remember that was a place that he had to checked other locations that he'd already visited, and so he just kind of dug himself a hole there.
Yeah, with that early mirror, I kind of just like was kind of hoping for like something on like Pearl on the blacksmith or something like that there, but
Yeah, that could have been a possibility, but it just didn't come to be. But I guess you know, and even in the late part of the game, we were still looking for like the fire rod and the flippers for way too long, and then you know we're getting the idea that it's probably a ped seed, and like it just did not get any better.
it was fire rod, flippers, and red cane for like the longest time. That was just nowhere to be found. And
Yeah.
it was red cane first, and then for some reason went back to Turtle Rock for no obvious reason, just because. I didn't
what I
screw myself
thought.
out of the key. But it's just like if
when you found it, when you found the cane, I was like, oh, we should go up to Turtle Rock. That was my immediate first thought, was go up and get that one stupid chest that you can have access to now.
of course, by doing that, well, I managed to get the tempered sword. I still had to go back to the front because I used the key up.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was the moment I finished Meyer that I had a strong inkling towards Pedestal. And technically, the only thing I didn't check that I could have was Zora, but I just was at that point I was committed. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
well, there isn't a whole lot to say about this. I really
No.
kind of just want to like lie down a little bit, maybe have another beer, and just pass out.
Yeah, right, man. So I guess that moves you guys up to 6 points total. It's kind of nice to get a win, even though it's not really the way you want to win, in
Yeah,
any
unfortunately,
kind of
but-
situation. But
In my opinion, I think he's the true winner here of not having to finish the rest of that abomination.
Yeah.
All right, well,
yeah.
thank you guys for
Okay.
hanging around doing the commentary for us, though. Even though trying to fill as much areas as possible, watching me just.
Yeah, man. Well, GG's and good luck. Good luck next week. I think you're going up against my team, good old me, and GFE and P Train. So we'll look forward to having a match with you next week.
Well, the more important part is that Olive and I are probably going to be drinking in the middle of it. So what are you guys going to have?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I could do the same.
I would say at least one shot, one shot or shot equivalent per crystal, and we'll go from there.
Nice. It'll be fun.
All right, folks. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
All right, GG's, man.
Later.
Well, okay. That's I think that's gonna do it, man. That was there isn't anything else to say. Trinexx was right on the mark there. This one was pretty brutal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess if you haven't already, give our runners a follow. They put on, they put up with a pretty brutal seed here for you. So shout outs to them, to our tracker Artero for hanging around all the way through this one. Excellent job, my man. And my co-com, Cassidy Mullen, thanks, man, for joining me on this one.
Yeah, it was a good time. Thank you as well.
Alrighty. And that is going to do it. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we will catch you again some other time. There's plenty of rando action to go around. So keep your eyes peeled to Speed Gaming channels and have a good night.